Welcome to Quick Tip with Joy. In this video, I'm going to continue on with my, the first video I did was the essentials to start junk journaling if you're a newbie and you needed to know the very basics of what you would need to start a junk journal. And then I did a video on the second level needs, what I thought would be what you would want to buy next. Now in this video, these are just nice to have. It's kind of like if you decided that you want to go ahead and do junk journaling and you're moving forward and you're just like, I got to have more, you know, I'm going to encourage you to not buy a whole bunch, but these are some things that you might want to buy. So let's get started with the first. Beads might be something that you would be interested in buying. You can make dangles with them. You can just, put them on a page by themselves. You don't, be aware of the size of the beads. You don't want them too thick unless you're using them on the cover, on the spine, on a dangle. But if you're just going to put them inside, it will make your journal way fatter. You're going to have that much girth, in between your pages. So pay attention to the size and where you're going to place them. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter if you're going to put them on the outside only, and then you can get bead caps and the whole bit. But beads would be something you might add. Brads would be another thing. These are always fun to put on a journal, to attach two pieces of ephemera together, or, you can make like a clock hands or, all kinds of stuff with brads. That's a kind of a fun thing. They make them in all sizes, colors, and I would stick with, at first, I would stick with the basic colors, well, my favorite is like the bronze colors, that kind of color. Now, I didn't buy, for a long time, I did not buy dies or a die cutting machine. This is what they call a sidekick machine here. And you would, I like this size, but this is the only size of dies that will fit in it, is, they'll have to fit within this plate here. So it's a great one to have on your desk. You would lock this in place, and it'd have to be a flat, it wouldn't work on here because it still gives, but on a glass surface or a some sort of a Formica or something would work good. But a die cutting machine might be, if you buy dies, then you have to buy, these are the dies, and they would fit in between here, and you would have to buy a die cutting machine if you bought dies. You can buy the die cuts, which is the finished product of what the dies do. You can buy those they package them in stores, or Etsy shops sell them. So that might be something you would be interested in. The next thing would be stamps. Now, I wouldn't go crazy. This is what I did, and I suggest you don't do that. I found like a cat stamp, thought it was cute, bought it. Then I bought a, Christmas stamp, thought it was cute. Well, nothing goes together. Think about it going together and how you're going to use it before you spend a lot of money. Because, Tim Holtz are like anywhere from, I don't know, they're around the $20, $30 range. So for the stamp set. So if you buy something like that, it's quite a bit of money. I know he shows you how you can do pieces, parts, and put it together and stuff. But these are things that are just like extras that, a lot of the crafters have, the makers have, and may want. Another thing might be some sort of a stencil, and you would use gesso. They make different kinds. This Golden brand is a more expensive kind. I got it fairly cheap, but gesso is white. You can buy it in colors as well, but I would buy it in white. And then, oh, I forgot about that. You would need, hold on, some kind of a palette knife. So I kind of would start with this style, and then, you would dip it out and put it on your project, and you would scrape it through to get it on your project. So that would be something, maybe perhaps a heat tool. Now, if you do embossing, there's two kinds of embossing. There are embossing folders, and then there are embossing the granules that you would put on a project, heat it, and then it makes it shiny in that certain spot. So make sure when you're buying a heat tool, if you're buying one for heat embossing or if you're buying just a heat tool, which would be for like the one that Tim Holtz sells is just for blowing air, but it's directed differently, I think. Then blow dryers don't work. Don't worry about a blow dryer. This one folds up handy dandy, but the embossing heat tool is more focused in with the heat, how it comes out. So that would be something that you would want possibly down the road. Paint might be another thing. You want a printer, definitely want a printer. A sewing machine might be another thing that you would want down the road. I'm not a sewer. I didn't spend my money on a sewing machine until I was really into it. Let's just put it that way. And when you buy a sewing machine, you might want to think about the levels of the amount of stitches that you can put on. If you want just a zigzag and a plain stitch, then you probably would, that would be your basic, probably $100 machine. But if you want to do more stitches, you're probably more closer to the $200 mark. So they have, like mine has 140 stitches. The problem with that is it uses more thread. Thread's expensive, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Anyway, if you do have hand issues, like I have arthritis, so some of the things that you might want if you do have hand issues, not issues, helpful tools might be a book cradle. And what that is a piece of wood, or something, well, they make them differently. They have like two pieces of wood that go together that you put your journal in it to cradle it so you can poke the holes in it. They also make a flat one, but if you have hand issues, probably that one would be a better way to do it. An electric die cut machine, they make these that do it so you don't crank it. This one here has a crank on it, so they make them that you don't have to have a crank on it. You could look for an electric one. Rubber thimbles. When you're trying to pull a needle through in your hand stitching, if you've got real hand problems, you're probably not doing that anyway, but the little rubber thimbles that go on your two fingers really helped me quite a bit. Another thing might be a Sugar Bell bottle. They're called Sweet Sugar Bell bottles for your glue. These are easier to push if you can't push the Fabri-Tac bottle. This is a little thicker. This would give you a little push so it doesn't hurt your hands as bad. The only thing I would warn you about is the lid on these is not 100% airtight. So I had Fabri-Tac in mine, but I don't use Fabri-Tac every, you would almost need to use it every day for it to not get hard inside the bottle, because it will get hard. I keep other glues in my Sugar Bell bottle. Fabri-Tac will get dried up on you though, and then I couldn't get it out, so that was quite an issue. Let's see, they have cutting machines, so if you can't fussy cut, and that means cutting around little small objects and cutting out pictures and stuff, then they have the scan and cut would be one of the things. It's an automatic machine that does all the cutting for you. However, it does have to have a little black line around each project, so be aware of that. If you buy digital off of the internet and it doesn't have the little black line, then it won't cut it. It will just, the way the machine reads. Spring-loaded scissors, I said this before, any kind of spring-loaded scissors are more helpful for owie hands. For bigger scissors, the Tim Holtz scissors, Tonic Studios, these have bigger holes here, so if you have trouble, this is way better on your thumb than your typical go to Walmart, buy a pair of scissors. So I would highly suggest getting they're spongy through there. Not spongy, that's not the word, but the rubber gives. So that would be the other thing. But that's it for today. I hope you liked it. Oh, I forgot about this. I'm sorry. An eyelet this wouldn't be the, for if you have issues with your hands, but this would be a nice to have. So this punches holes. It punches 2 sizes of holes. It's a crocodile. These is We Are Memory Keepers. They make a hand one that, a bigger one. I don't have it out, but it's more or less like huge, and it sits on your desk and you press it down, but it does the same thing that this one does. This one's just a handheld one, and these will do different size of eyelets. So you buy the eyelets and you punch the hole through here, and then you will do the eyelet there. And I did a whole series on, or a whole video also on which ones to buy, so watch that one if you're interested in doing that. And I think I covered everything. So for today, thank you for being here. If you would, give me a like, thumbs up, share it, and if you haven't subscribed, I ask that you please subscribe and add your choose all. I can't ring the bell and choose all if you want to see all of the things that I have to offer. And as for today, remember your day is full of choices, so choose joy. Have a wonderful day.